Good afternoon, evening, ladies. Welcome to July's 2021 Dress for Success Professional Women's Group meeting. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're doing well. And Amber, if we could go ahead and have the slide up. Okay, so hold on just a moment. There we go. Wonderful. Welcome, ladies. So we're going to let Irina. Irina, are you on?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. Well,
All right. I will start with the mission statement. The PWG comes together to network, encourage, support, and inspire each other to thrive in the workplace and in life. We are committed to creating a welcoming environment where we refrain from judgment. We treat each other with dignity and mutual respect. We're open to the possibilities and ready to have fun.
woohoo! Welcome, ladies. Iman?
Good evening, ladies. So we have a question for our breakout room. As a child, what did you do? What did you dream of becoming when you grow up? And we do have 15 minutes.
All right, so you'll be put into breakout rooms right now. And so discuss what you wanted to be.
Similarities between our stories. Lots of similarities.
And why we have to give up our dreams?
No, in my group, it was people choosing similar fields and right. I mean, the changes that we went through too.
Right, right. Anyone else had some insight or?
The lady who was in my breakout room with me, we had a great discussion about what we wanted to be when we were younger and then what we are now and how that related to that. So it was very fun and interesting to discuss that.
Yeah. Was it the same? Like, was it like the same dream, just a little bit, or was it radically different?
Very different. So without revealing who it was, she wanted to be a flight attendant. And then she said because she's not from here, but in her country that she comes from, if you have family that's in aviation, then it's easier to get the job. But if you don't, it's a very difficult task. And then eventually she immigrated to the United States and then she had different jobs. And now she's a sales lead for her company. So she's very happy with what she's doing now.
Nice. Very
And
nice.
for me, I wanted to be a nurse, and then I don't like blood or needles. So then I decided veterinarian because I have a love of animals. but then again, it was blood and needles, so, and animals suffering. So I didn't want to do that. And then I decided I wanted to be a lawyer, and I did become a paralegal, but then I didn't want to work in criminal law because I was like, oh, maybe I can't sleep at night because you're supposed to make people look innocent who might be guilty. So I didn't want to do that. And then I told her I became a welder. And then when the economy downturned, then I went to beauty school and I became a makeup artist, and I love my job.
Wow. Yes, and I think we might be able to look forward to a workshop from you on teaching us how to do some magic with our makeup, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
I want to help. I'm a freelance makeup artist too.
Who is-
Okay.
Oh, you
Awesome.
too, Dion?
You didn't know?
No, I didn't know.
Oh my gosh. When you work in news, you have to have 10 other jobs because there's no actual pay. It's volunteer.
I hear that, girl. I hear that with my bad ear.
Oh, that is wonderful. Well, you were going to do our English workshop, right? Our email workshop. We still have to talk and get together on that, but yes, because you are in news and editor, right? And do all sorts of things, so you're the proper person for that. Well, ladies, welcome everyone if you're just joining us. We have an exciting moment now. A few months ago, we were asking all of you to submit some applications to become ambassadors, and today we are going to be introducing you the new batch of ambassadors, and reintroducing you to our senior ambassadors. So we're going to start, and it's at least 30 seconds, ladies, so remember that, with the introductions to our new ambassadors. So Olga, you're up.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited and honored to be here tonight. Thank you so much for accepting me and getting me into this wonderful position. So I was introduced to the organization by my friend, Irina Garboon, who just did the very first part of this meeting, the introduction. She's been an ambassador, and I lost my job at some point during COVID, and I was very devastated. I couldn't find another job, and I didn't expect that to be that challenging. But thanks to your career coaching services, I was able to get back up on my feet and believe in myself again, because I was very frustrated. And here I am working now, and became an ambassador. So totally, it was quite a very nice surprise. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Well,
thank you so much. Thanks.
Welcome. Bernadette, are you there?
Yes, I am. I just took myself off mute. Good evening and hello to everyone here on our group chat meeting. My name is Bernadette McClare. I'm originally from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I'm excited to be a part of Dress for Success Denver. I actually moved here during the pandemic of COVID-19 last year, and I lost my job. My husband lost his job. We stayed with my in-law, my brother and sister-in-law. And during the time of COVID, and not being able to communicate and meet people and see people, and I didn't have family here but my in-laws and my mother-in-law, I reached out to Dress for Success Denver because I know I've been boots on the ground with Dress for Success over 20 years in Michigan. And I've been a community action project leader 2 times. And then I was also in their first coffee table book. And I thought, you know what, there's a group of women here I'm sure that I can relate to and share with. And I reached out, I signed up for some of the meetings. I had an interview a couple weeks ago and came and got suited. And being here and a woman of color has been challenging based on where I live at. And I've had to have the uncomfortable, impossible conversations, but coming to the meeting last week, I met so many wonderful women. And I'm sure all of you are, I just don't know you all yet. And I realized that I'm not by myself. And it's not just an issue of women of color, but we all have issues and stories and struggles that we can relate to share and uplift one another. And I appreciate being selected, and I look forward to being a part of this wonderful organization here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Christy. Christy Peterson, are you there? All right, Fatima Benamur,
Yes. Hi, everybody.
you're
I'm sorry.
back.
Thank you.
You have 30 seconds, my dear. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Fatima Benamer. I've been with Dress for Success for almost 5 years now. I've been somebody from Jewish Family Services referred me to this beautiful organization, and since then I start being in the meetings and loving the way they the way they do everything. I start volunteering. It gives me a life again, gives me the self-esteem I'm trying to build it. I feel strong. I feel happy with women like me, ladies, that I built a friendship there too. And I'm so happy being a part of that organization.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Ida.
Hi guys. Yeah, I'm really grateful to be part of this group and amazing women. I got a chance to meet most of you face to face in our last meeting, so thank you for that. And thank you for choosing me. But so how I got acquainted with Dress for Success was that I moved to Hawaii. My brother was there, and the plan was for me to take some time off and maybe do some yoga and learn yoga, maybe be a yoga teacher, but just kind of enjoy Hawaii, help him with the baby. But once I got there, I don't know if family is like that. It was completely different. Unfortunately, he was having marital problems, and I just felt really uncomfortable, and it was really evident that I had to get a job sooner than later. I didn't know anybody. I think I just Googled like women's support group or something like that, and I came across the YWCA in Hawaii, and I just wanted to get help with my resume and network back into telecommunications, and it became more. I ended up going to the professional women's group, and we would go to dinner and we would do training. The culture in Hawaii is different, and I was interviewing and not getting work. And they ask you questions like, do you have a sense of humor? And I was just, I mean, I was so not prepared for the culture, and they helped me learn the culture. And I did land a job at Hawaii Telecom. And they did give me like clothes because I just had like flip-flops and summer dresses. I was not prepared. So they really came through for me. So that's how I got to know, yeah, Dress for Success.
Wonderful. Thank you. Teresa.
Hi, I'm Teresa, and my little 30 seconds is a little bit different. Just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about myself and what I do in the community. My motto in life is don't worry about who knows you, strive so that you're worth knowing. My local and national platform is reducing and or eliminating police brutality. One of the things I do is I go all over the state of Colorado, talking to groups in police about eliminating and reducing police brutality. I started 2 nonprofit organizations for women. Once a month, we award a single mother with anywhere from $300 to $500 in cash and a host of other gifts. And that's something that I love to do and do once a month. As far as my education is concerned, I do have an associate degree in general studies and a bachelor's in business administration with a concentration in human resource. And I love being a part of Dress for Success.
Yay, wonderful. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, ladies. Now let's give a big hand. These are our new ladies. Woohoo! And now for our senior ambassadors, Iman.
Sorry, I didn't know I was gonna go so fast. So good evening, ladies again. My name is Iman Benjelloun. I am from Morocco, Casablanca. I was very lucky to be introduced to Dress for Success about almost 4.5 years ago. My goal was originally to help students in my program to obtain professional suits for internship and job interviews. And then as time passed, I realized that Dress for Success does so much more than just provide suits. So since I first learned of Dress for Success, I have try to stay as involved as possible within the organization. I'm currently serving as an ambassador, a volunteer, and I'm also part of the professional women group. I have also received so many opportunities because of Gloria and Amara that allowed me to help myself and my community as well. Dress for Success mission, the members and our leaders have really become an extension of my family, and I couldn't be more thankful to be part of this team. So thank you for this opportunity and welcome to all the new ambassadors.
Thank you. And Kara, are you on there? I think Kara's coming on. I know she's in the waiting room. And so we'll wait for Amra to log her on. Irina.
Everyone, my name is Irina, and I just had my 4-year anniversary with Dress for Success. I came to Dress for Success in 2017. I have to do the math. And I was looking for a new career direction and got a referral from the Workforce Center. And since I went into the office, initially I was going to get new suiting for interviews, for job interviews. And then I found the job, then I started attending the professional women's group meeting, then I started volunteering, and then I completed a community action project that was a winning project as well. And now I'm an ambassador too, and this organization does so much for every single woman who comes through the doors. And I've successfully completed multiple trainings that were provided through Dress for Success and other opportunities that I'm grateful for. Fashion shows coming up, so yay. A couple of years ago, I was able to participate in that. So I'm looking forward to that again. And welcome everybody, welcome all the new ambassadors, and ask any questions, any help, I'm here for you. Thank you.
And there is going to be coming some information on that, Irina, so that's in the announcements.
Oh.
Awesome. Kathy.
Hi. Wait, ooh, let me. Hi, I'm Kathy. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hi, my name is Kathy. I've been with Dress for Success since 2015. I was chosen to represent Dress for Success in 2016, 2017. And I became an ambassador 4 years ago. And why I love Dress for Success so much is that I can plan into another person to build another woman up, to encourage and to support. I'm here to serve and to please and just to love on everyone. And, you know, because I came into a place when I was alone, desperate for love because my husband was dying, transitioning, and Dress for Success came together and became a part, like a family, not just a sisterhood, but like a family. Everybody supported me through the rough times and the good times. So I thank everybody for being a part of my life.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, Kalindi.
Hi, ladies. Welcome, new ambassadors. Thank you for joining this great team of ladies. I am so happy to have you in the team. We could, take as much as help we can. There's always, something going on with Dress for Success that, you guys would be able to help with. I got involved with Dress for Success 5 years ago. I was referred by a domestic violence shelter, and I got so much help and so much motivation. Felt like part of a group, where I wanted to be. And ever since I got involved, I started volunteering, became the ambassador. I'm also on the board, and I just love this organization. It does wonders to life of so many women it has served, and I just so much that we can do to help each other. So thank you for being part of this.
Thank you so much, Kalindi. Kara, are you on, my dear?
I am. Apologies. Hi, everybody. Here's my true life story. So I'm sitting here working away. I feel like I've been here for 12 hours, probably because I have been. And I'm just working away. And I thought, well, I'm going to check my personal email account, and I checked it and I saw an email and I was like, you know, when your heart sinks and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm late for the meeting. So thank you. That's my explanation, and apologies, but I'm so happy to be here. A little bit more about me. I have been an ambassador, been involved with Dress for Success since 2013, when I was released from incarceration, and got extremely heavily involved with the PWG, quite frankly, because it got me out of the halfway house, first of all, and second, because I needed new people. I needed new healthy women in my life because I didn't have that. And I hadn't had that for, 20 years of the bad choices of the lifestyle that I was living. And loved it, immediately loved it. Was paired up with Miss Kathy Sullivan, who just spoke, to do a community action project. And we bonded. And I think that that's really when my relationship with Dress for Success like completely solidified. I was just in, right? When you're in something, I was just, just completely bought in on the mission, bought in on what we do, bought in on just everything. And have continued to put myself in positions in Dress for Success to serve and to get to know people and grow basically in general. And I can tell you that it's been exponentially impactful to my life in countless ways. My development over the last 7 years since my release from incarceration, I was released in 2013, as I said, I wouldn't be the woman I am today. I wouldn't be the woman I am today without this organization. And I'm beyond honored to be a part of the ambassador team, to be here to serve you, to love you, to remind you how absolutely amazing you are, right? Because we all need to know, we all need that reminder sometimes, like, hey, by the way, you're amazing. So I am that person. I've got your back on that. So please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I'm going to throw my personal number in the chat. Text me, email me. You got me in your back pocket. I love all of you. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So ladies, these are your ambassadors. So let's give them another hand. Great job. And Iman, would you like to introduce our guest speaker?
Absolutely. So now I have the honor to introduce to you Joy Hagen from ADECO, Designing Your Dream Job. Please help me welcome Miss Joy.
Oh, well, thank you so much. What a treat to be here. And before we dive in, I just want each of you just to Kara, your intro, every single one of you that spoke and that didn't speak, but I got to speak to in the breakout room, just hats off to all of you. You are a group of powerful women that are changing the world, and you should be very, very proud of yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm so excited to be here with you all. Let's see. Can you all see the screen? Perfect. Yeah. I love it. So today's conversation is going to be very interactive. We're going to be focusing in on designing your dream job or designing your dream life. Some of you might be like, I love my job and I'm not in the process or thought process of wanting to make a career transition, and that's totally okay. We are going to talk big, bold strategies on how to craft a life that you love. I'm going to go ahead. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you are more than welcome to. Like I said, today is going to be very interactive, so feel free to come off of mute, answer, just jump right in with your questions, throw them in the chat box. But as they said, my name is Joy Haugen. I am a strategic life coach. I have a background in HR and management, and kind of my specialty is really helping teams and organizations figure out where they are right now and where they want to be, and building tactical roadmaps and how to achieve that. And I would be curious, when you go back to that question of what did you want to be as a kid, right? When you were a kid and some adult asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? What was that, right? For me, I wanted to be a ballerina, but I was practically born being 6 feet tall. So being tall and being a ballerina is not a good combination. And then I thought, well, I'll be an emergency room doctor. And I actually passed out looking at blood and bodily functions. And I was like, George Clooney is not going to be my boss. So I thought, well, what else is out there? And I love what I do on a day-to-day basis. I have a private coaching practice where I help individuals figure out what they want to do with their life and the best version of themselves, and then work with organizations and teams. So again, I am just thrilled to be here with all of you tonight. And I know, you all probably know each other, but if you want to go ahead and in the chat box, just throw your name, your pronouns, and one reason why you are awesome. And this doesn't have to be your whole life story. As I was born in North Dakota and I moved every year of my life. And I was in Washington, D.C., and I moved to Phoenix, Arizona right before the pandemic. And I was going to open an office for my company, and I was focused on that for 3 months. And 2020 was going to be the year that I made friends and boyfriends in Phoenix. And of course, COVID put a kibosh on that life plan. So here we are. But go ahead and in the chat box, if you want to just quickly introduce yourself with your name, your pronouns, and one reason why you are awesome. It's great to meet you all. Excuse me. So our objective tonight is I want you to start thinking about what's really important to you in your career and in your life, and start to think about the techniques for actually designing and getting a career or a life that you love in a faster way. So going back to that question of what do you want to be when you grow up, to what you are right now. And there is no shame, there is no guilt, there is nothing bad about where you are right now. But I want you to think about, what was the difference, right? Why am I not a ballerina? Why am I not an ER doctor? Was it logistics of life? Was it goals? Was it dreams and aspirations that changed? I love all the comments that are coming into the chat box. So I want you to be thinking about what's the difference between what you want it to be as your childhood self, for your version, or versus to who you are and what you do now, and that difference. And again, there's no shame, there's no guilt. We just want to start to acknowledge what are the differences and what happened. So when we think about that, the logistics for tonight is all about you. So we're going to leverage the chat box. You're also able to come off of mute. Tonight is very interactive, but this is your opportunity to take a step back and to really focus in on you. You all could have been anywhere else tonight, and you could have been in happy hour, you could have been hanging out with your family, your friends, your pets, whatever it is that you do in your personal time, you could have been doing that, but you chose to be here today to invest in yourself. And so that is a huge compliment to each of you. I would encourage you, I do apologize in advance. My puppy has decided, I was one of the thousands of people that got a puppy during COVID, and we are still learning how to communicate and interact. And she likes to play with this random ball. So I do apologize if there's a little bit of background noise, but I would encourage you to have a piece of paper handy. Again, like I said, we're going to do some activities tonight to really get focused in on you. And you will also receive a copy of the slides. I will make sure to share them with Gloria after tonight's presentation, and you will have access to them. So don't worry if you're like frivolously taking notes and you didn't hear what I said. It's totally okay. You're going to get a copy of the slides. And lastly, I would just encourage you to be compassionate with yourself. Again, I think sometimes when we take a step back and we think about who is it that I want to be when I grow up, or what is it that I want to be, sometimes there can be a lot of emotions, and there can be a lot of shoulds. I should have done this and I should have done that. And my personal philosophy, and Gloria, I'm going to say one little bad word and you can yell at me afterwards. But my personal philosophy is that we should shit the shoulds, excuse the crassness. But there is nothing in life that we should or should not do. And that word alone, it infringes a lot of guilt and shame. So I want you just to be extra kind and generous with yourself, at least for this next hour. And then once we hop off this webinar, you can go back to whatever the version of not being kind to yourself is. But I hope that that's not the case on a day-to-day basis. So when you think about talking about yourself, whether it's your dreams, your aspirations, your work life, your personal life, how easy is it to talk about you? Does anyone want to come off of mute and share, when I asked you about why you are awesome, did you get a little squeamish and be like, oh Lord, this is going to be one of those types of webinars where I have to talk?
Joy, can I say something? I don't think
Yeah.
it's like I can talk for hours about other people's, achievements, strengths, and awesome things they've done in their lives. When it comes to me, I'm just shut down. I cannot come up with it. I mean, I know it's there, but it's just like so lost. And like, no, I don't think it's worth of sharing. I don't think it's that amazing. I don't think that's awesome. And I really like, as I said, when it comes to others, I'm all over those people, and I really, really like passionately believe in their strengths and what they've done and accomplishments and how amazing they are. But when it comes to me, no. No.
Yeah. And Olga, can I ask why is that?
Sorry, I have a dog too, but I think it's just how I was raised. I mean, I was raised in a culture we had kind of to keep our heads down and, just be like everyone else. Like, oh, shoot, just don't, no, you're not anything. You're not a special person. You're just kind of part of the crowd, part of this big, community, and you're just pretty much no one on your own. But when you're part of the group, you're strong, which is partially true, but we never pointed things like at ourselves. We never really took a look inside of ourselves. When I grew up, I think it goes back to the childhood, to be honest with you. That's my opinion on that.
Yeah, Olga, thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else have any thoughts on why is it so hard for us to talk about ourselves?
Can I come in?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, this is Ola. Yeah, I just want to reiterate what she just said, coming from similar cultures, especially as a woman, you're supposed to be seen and not heard. So when you talk too much about yourself, it's like you're showing off. So you don't really talk much about yourself. If not, it's as if you're showing off or you're proud or something like that. So that, I think that's part of the difficulty.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And you're all spot on, right? We're, especially as women, we are trained, oh, don't talk about yourself. You're boasting or you're bragging, or, we need to be part of the collective and focus on each other. And if we could probably spend a great deal of time going into gender roles and norms, going back throughout history of, generally the male is being the worker and the female is taking care of the house. And again, that is a whole nother topic, but unfortunately, those are generational beliefs and practices that have been passed on. And unfortunately, it's as adults, I'm in the adult learning realm for my 9-to-5 job. And we are taught as adults, it's a very like cyclical way. We go to grade school, we go to high school, we might go to post-secondary, but we get a job. As women, we're probably told we should get married and have kids and and anything that goes beyond that life plan can be a little disruptive, right? And we're trained not to disrupt things. So it's hard as adults to retrain our brain. And so tonight we are going to focus in on how do we retrain our brain so that when we have to talk about ourselves, and not have to, but when we get to talk about ourselves, that we are confident and that we are comfortable, and we're so excited to share with the world why we are so great and the impacts that we're going to make. So again, tonight's conversation is focused in on where are you right now and where do you want to be, whether that is on the professional side or on the personal side. So if you are starting to think about, I'm ready for my next professional adventure, and I'm not really quite sure what to do or how to get there, that's great. We're going to talk through some strategies. If you are at a spot where you're like, I really like what I do professionally, but I want to think about what I can take on personally and what's that next step, that's just as great. We are going to talk through those tactics as well. But ideally, we want to make sure that we are comfortable talking about why we are awesome. Because if we do not know why we are awesome, it is going to be extremely hard to convince or to tell somebody else why we are awesome. Again, whether that's on the personal side or on the professional side. So I also just want to acknowledge that all of this is a lot easier said than done. As a coach, especially, I love being able to help people strategize and think about, okay, well, if you turn right, you could go down this path. If you turn left, you could go down that path. All of this is easier said than done. And we have to remember that we are human beings. I know the past 18 months of being virtual, it's been a little bit hard to remember that behind the screens there are actual human beings. And so we want to just, go back into those core values and remind ourselves that we're human, we've made mistakes, we have wins, and we're here to celebrate those as well as learn and grow. And again, feel free, if you have questions, comments, feel free to just pop off mute. You can speak up or you can throw a question in the chat box and we'll be able to answer it throughout tonight's conversation. So I would love for you to just get really clear with where your life is right now. So on a piece of paper or a Google Doc or whatever form or methodology is best for you to take notes, I just want you to go through and write down where is your life right now in each of these areas. And I want you to be honest with yourself. This is just going to be for you. So don't judge it. Don't be like, oh, of course, if I had my life together, I would make my bed every day of the week. Or, if I really had my life together, I would have a 6-pack of abs and be able to eat cupcakes every day for breakfast. But where is your life right now? Professionally, personally, where's your health and your wealth? And be specific. Are you a manager? Are you a contributor? Are you an aspiring business owner? In your personal life, are you going to virtual brunches with your friends every week? Do you have a dog? Do you have a partner? Are you excited about your partner? Do you have kids? For your health, how are you feeling every day when you wake up? Are there any health concerns that you have? And your wealth. I know we get a little squeamish when we talk about money. And again, there's no judgment. This is just for you. But with your wealth, how much money is in your bank account? If you have a savings account, how much money is in your savings account? If you have a play fund, whatever accounts or funds you have or however you manage your money is totally okay. But I want you to be specific with your numbers. Don't just write, oh, I have too little, or I want to have more. But even if it's $5, there is no one here to judge you. If you have $5 in your bank account, fantastic. Write down $5. So just take about 3 minutes and go ahead and write down what your life is like right now. Just take about 30 more seconds. As you start to wrap up, I want you to just think about what's 1 or 2 words that describe your overall feelings for your life right now. And again, there's no judgment, there's no shame. This is just for you. Are you excited? Are you motivated? Are you comfortable? Are you yearning? But write down 1 or 2 words that can summarize your general feeling towards your life right now. All right. So what I should have also said on that logistics slide is that there might be times throughout tonight's conversation where you feel a little uncomfortable. You feel a little bit like, what the heck is Joy talking about? Why are we doing this? It seems a little bit silly. I feel awkward. I promise you there is a method to the madness, so just bear with me. Unfortunately or fortunately, this is going to be one of those times. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm just going to ask that you close your eyes. And I know it's awkward. I promise you, I will not judge your faces. I won't make faces at you, but just go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath. Just take 3 deep breaths that kind of go into your lungs, into your belly, and you just have to fill it up and get oxygen into your blood. And I want you, as you close your eyes, I want you to envision that it is 5 years from today. So it's July 27th, 2026. And I want you just to take a mental image within your mind about what is your professional life like? What are you doing for work? Are you a CEO of a company? Are you retired? What are you doing professionally? Are you managing a team? Are you a contributor? Do you work for a mission-driven organization? Do you lead a mission-driven organization? Did you win the lottery? So keeping your eyes closed, I want you to keep that same vision in mind. So it is still 5 years from today. It is July 27th, 2026. And what is your personal life like? Did you get married? Are you married? Are you divorced? Do you have children? Did you adopt children? Did you adopt fur babies? Do you still live in Denver? Do you live on a boat? Do you travel? Where do you travel to? Keeping your eyes closed, we are still 5 years from today. It's still July 27th, 2026. And what is your health like? Do you have a 12-pack of abs? Do you eat cupcakes every day for breakfast? Are you running marathons every week? Are you living your best life sitting on your couch? Are you a vegetarian? Are you a carnivore? Did you decide that you wanted to try going gluten-free? What is your health like? So keeping your eyes closed, it's still 5 years from today, so it's still July 27th, 2026. And what is your wealth like? How much money is in your bank account? How much money is in your savings account? In your investments? In your rainy day fund? So just take 30 more seconds, keeping your eyes closed, and envision what your life is like 5 years from today. So go ahead and open your eyes and just, actually, I don't know if normally I would break you out into a breakout room and you would be able to share this with your partner, but that is totally okay. What I would like for you to do is just take a minute and write down what your life is like. What was going on in your head when you were when you were crafting that vision? Again, I want you to be specific with your profession, your passion, or your personal life, your health, and your wealth. Don't get too caught up on are you capable of it? Do you have the resources? Do you know how to do it? Is it even possible? If your 5-year life was that you wanted to live on a boat and you retired early and you travel around, that's okay. Write it down. Especially with your wealth, when we get to that money, I want you to write down a specific number. How much money is in each of your accounts? So go ahead and just take about 3 minutes and write out what you would like for your life in 5 years from today. So as you start to wrap up writing out your vision, the reason why this is so important is this is where our dreams get lost, because we dream them and then we forget them, or we get sidetracked, or something happens. And so we want to write it down. We want to really get clear on, okay, so professionally, I said that I wanted to own my own company and I wanted to live 6 months on a boat and 6 months bouncing around and living with friends. And my health, I'm running a marathon every other week. I am eating the cupcake for breakfast. I have a 12-pack of abs. My wealth is I have so much money. I don't know what to do with it. I have $1 million in my bank account. I'm able to donate $1 million to charity every year. I am so excited financially, and overall, I just love my life. Nothing is too big. Nothing is too bold. Bernadette, thank you so much for sharing. You saw the next slide, but if there's anyone that cares to share what your 5-year life is like, was it, feel free to either throw it in the chat box, or if you want to come off of mute. Oh, sure.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it. I'll come off mute. I just 5 years from now, I see myself as either a consultant or an executive in some type of a position where I'll be responsible for events, creating community development programs for families within our community, helping children, and hopefully my health would be stable. I have a precancerous condition, so hopefully it'll stay that way. I'm monitored every 6 months, so I'm pretty good so far. And my salary, I would love to make $90,000 to $100,000 a year because of my qualifications and what I can bring to the table to nonprofits or for-profit companies or organizations, or maybe have something of my own. And I would be looking soon to retire because I'll be 57 in 5 years. So thank you.
Oops, oops. Yep, thank you so much for sharing. I love that. Anyone else? As you think about, as you look at that 5-year life, does it scare you? Is there any part of your 5-year life that you're like, I could definitely do that tomorrow? Did you maybe not think or dream big enough? And that's okay. So your 5-year life, so 5 years from now, I want your 5-year life should seem a little bit unattainable. And the reason being is that that's our kind of gut check to know that we're aiming high. We have big aspirations and big, bold dreams and big plans for ourselves. The reason why this is so important is there's a really good quote. It's one of my favorite quotes, but people generally live 90 years. And you have the choice. You can either live 90 years, 1 year at a time, over and over and over, or you can live 90 different years. And the choice is yours. But generally what happens is we get comfortable, or we are following we're going through the momentum of life. I don't know about you, but COVID and being virtual has really kind of put a little bit of a haze over the timing. I feel like a whole year went by in the blink of an eye. And yet when you look back, obviously we've gone through a pretty big thing as a community or a global community, but maybe prior to COVID, think back to, was your life drastically different? Was 2019 drastically different than your life at 2018? And some of you the answer might be yes. You might have made a career change. You might have made an investment in your health. And some of you might be thinking, if I really take a look, there wasn't a whole lot of differences. And again, there is no judgment. There's no wrong answer. This is your life. But what we want to be cognizant of is, are we making the choice to invest in ourselves, to live new experiences or different experiences, invest in ourselves to grow, to learn, or to gain differences, so that in a year from now or in 3 months from now, we're accomplishing what we want. We're living a life that we would love. I'll tell you a quick personal story. So my uncle runs orphanages in the Dominican Republic, and it's transitioned to an educational platform. But I've been going down on mission trips since I was a young child, and loved to give back and be a part of that community. And somewhere along the way, it became part of my aspirations and dreams to go to somewhere in Africa and be a part of those communities and just learn and experience a different culture. And I thought, well, you know what? I will do that when I'm in high school. Well, high school, I was involved in sports. So I thought, well, I'll put this dream I'll put it on hold until I go to college, because surely in college I'll have my summers and my time, etc. Well, I was still involved in sports and was on a scholarship, so I didn't have the time. So I thought, well, surely when I'm done with school, I will be an adult and I'll have a job. So I will do this, I will accomplish this dream as an adult. And then I graduated from school and quickly realized that student loans and adulting were a thing, and that I didn't have ample amount of time off from work. So I was like, well, I will go when I retire, because surely at that point in my life, I will have the time and the resources to accomplish this dream. So when I went through my coaching certification, we had to do this exact same exercise where we got really clear on where our life was right now, where we wanted to be. In person, I usually have you spin around 3 times and you tell a person out loud your life, and we speak it in present tense. So it's not, I hope to become this or I hope to achieve that, but it's, I work here, I do that, I achieve X. So I did this and I went through the program with my colleague, learned a lot, it was a great experience. went back to work. And 3 days later, a woman walked into my colleague's office and said, I need some additional time off of work because I'm going on a trip to Kenya and I'm just really excited, but I need some additional time. And my colleague, who had just gone through our program and heard me over say that I had been to Kenya and given back to this community and had, learned a different culture, said, can I connect my colleague with you? By the end of that week, I connected with this organization and they said, we're full for this next trip, but we'll let you know. A week later, they called me back and they said, we just had a cancellation. If you'd like to go, we'd love to have you, but we'll need X amount of money by, within 3 months. At that point in time, I said, you know what? I just spun around a room and told some stranger that I had been to Kenya and had learned a new culture. So I'm going to say yes, and hopefully this works out. 3.5 months later, I accomplished a dream. I ended up going to Kenya. I had lots of fundraisers and got the time off of work. And I was able to accomplish a lifelong dream that I was going to put off until retirement, only because I got clear on what it is that I wanted to do. So the point of this is that you don't have to wait 5 years to accomplish what you want for your life, but we have to be clear with what it is that we want to achieve and accomplish. Because if we are not, things are going to creep up, our day-to-day life is going to set in, or we're going to be overwhelmed with the logistics, for whether it's financial or time or energy. So this is the first step. Again, whether you are crafting a career that you want to love or the next step in your personal life, the first step is we want to get crystal clear on what that looks like. Excuse me. So when you think about where your life is, where are you today to where you said you wanted to be in 5 years? What's your Goliath? What's holding you back? Is it time? Is it energy? Is it financials? And just go ahead and write down what is holding you back. What is your Goliath? I also call the Goliath, it's that voice in your head that says, oh, Joy, why do you even bother? There's so many great coaches out there. Why should you even be a coach? Why put yourself out there? You're not good enough. Let somebody else do it. You don't have enough money. You're too tall to be a dancer. Why even pursue dancing? So what's the voice in your head? What is that self-talk? We have to be clear on what that voice is. And if that voice is telling you, Irina, you are so fantastic, you just get up every day and you go for it, fantastic. That's what we want, right? We want to get to the point where the voice that we hear is our cheerleader and pushing us to say, you are so capable and competent to do this that we are so excited for you to do this. But we have to be cognizant of what that voice is telling us so that when we start to go and try and experience these new things, that when that voice says, oh gosh, this is a little uncomfortable, it's a little scary, I don't know if you're going to have the money or the time or the energy, you have the resources and the confidence to say, no, I'm going to do this. And here's how I'm going to do it.
Can I share something real quick?
Sure.
What really opened me up today, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. And you can hear something over and over again, but sometimes you hear it one time and it's just like a beam from heaven shines down and opens up the clouds and shines right on you, like, oh my God, that's it. I never thought of myself as an unsung hero. What you mentioned tonight in the beginning, when I saw the picture of the lady with the mud on her face and unsung hero, I was like, well, what does that actually mean? And I hope I'm not interrupting while the ladies are writing, but this helped me see even more clearly because all of us have gone through something, and what I found that the unsung hero is a person who has achieved great things or committed acts of bravery or self-sacrifice, yet not celebrated or recognized. And an unsung hero may be someone who acts bravely in battle without notice, or someone who sacrifices himself, or for us, it's herself, for the good of the group without recognition. And I was like, I'm that unsung hero. I mean, all of us are that unsung hero. And I think maybe once we realize, because we've all sacrificed and we fought some type of war battle that we may not share with someone else, but we've been through it and we can help somebody else by sharing our story. And I appreciate you having that picture up tonight, because it let me see myself even clearer, because I have had battles and I have scars and I have been in wars that could have killed me, but I'm here today. And I just want to say that that has allowed me to see those four: passion, profession, health, and wealth. And I just want to say that was very powerful of what you did tonight with that picture.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Bernadette. And you were spot on, right? Is we often don't think of ourselves as unsung heroes. We don't acknowledge what we do in our day-to-day because we think, doesn't everybody just do this? And excuse me, you know, there are life experiences that can be hard and can be challenging to navigate. And so at times it can be overwhelming to think, is everyone struggling? Is everyone going through the same complexity? On the flip side, it can be extremely easy to compare our chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20, especially with social media, where we're looking at pictures of people's curated lives and saying, wow, I really thought they were on the struggle bus, but you know, they're living their best life on a boat. So we have to be that. This is where it's really important to keep centered. And it goes back to knowing why we are awesome, so that in those moments we can remind ourselves that we are an unsung hero, that we have a story to tell, and what we've gone through can help somebody else. And Cheyenne, thank you so much for sharing in the chat box. And I would just encourage us all to recognize, you know, where do we get intimidated? Where do we start to get a little bit hung up on, like, oof, I'm not good at this. And we can so quickly and so often say, I'm not good at math, so I'm never going to be good at math. Or I'm just like, I don't want to interact with accountants because I'm so intimidated by them and they come off as so, you know, you should know all of the numbers. So we have to also be aware of, where do we get intimidated, and lean into what are the whys. And sometimes that's acknowledging, I had a poor experience with some accountants that just threw it in my face. So I want us to really think through how, you know, we've done a lot of data collection on ourselves. You know, we've gotten clear with where are we right now, where do we want to be, but why does all that matter, right? How do we bridge the gap between the two? So we're going to start talking about those strategies. And when we think about, excuse me, when we think about whether we're job searching or when we are overcoming a personal hurdle, we want to make it as easy as possible for people to help us. Women especially, we are trained to not ask for help. Sometimes we are taught that is shameful, or we are not strong enough if we ask for help. We are not less than. We want to make it as easy as possible for people to actually help us. So when we think about our story, we have to think about the brain is trained or designed to remember stories with emotional impact. If I say once upon a time or happily ever after, what comes to mind? Generally a fairy tale, right? You might think about Cinderella or Walt Disney or Snow White or The Little Mermaid or whatever it might is. But when you think about Cinderella, you don't necessarily see the word Cinderella. You see the image of the princess in the blue dress and the glass slipper and the prince chasing after her. So we have to make that same translation. We have to create the image in somebody else's mind as to what we are capable of. Again, whether we are trying to overcome a personal hurdle or make a professional transition, we have to make it as easy as possible for other people to know what we are capable of, so that they can be like, oh, of course I want Joy, who does X, Y, and Z, to be on my team. So when we think about What is it that we want to be, or what do we want to do? The questions, if you're somebody who's like, I don't know, I've never really thought about this, and I just have been doing what I've been doing because it's what I've always been doing. We want to start to ask ourselves some of these questions of like, what do I love to do most? What can I do for long periods of time and not get bored? What produces the highest ratio of satisfaction? And what is your unique ability or your superpower? And again, try not to judge it. Just, think about what's your superpower? What do you love to do? If money weren't an option, or it didn't matter, if you were paid for it or not, what would you love to do? Again, we're collecting the data on ourselves. So when we think about that, what does it really mean? We want to be really clear with our skills and strengths. In the interest of time, we're going to start talking through some tactics. And I want you to think about writing these things down, but coming back to it after tonight's session. So our skills and strengths, I would encourage you to make a list of 100 skills and strengths. And you might be thinking, Joy, there is no way that I am good at 100 things. I promise you, you are. Walk away from this. Ask somebody that you know or who knows you well. Do 5 skills and strengths a day and just write it down. These can be all of your soft skills and strengths, your life skills, as well as your technical skills, or those things that you do for your everyday job. But it can be things like, I'm compassionate, I'm empathetic, I'm a good leader, I'm funny, I'm intelligent. I know how to do Microsoft Suite programs. I can build PowerPoint presentations. I'm a public speaker. So you want to get to the point where you know all of your skills and strengths. Get it up to 100. Focus in on 10 a day. Now, taking this one step further, because I'm sure we could all say, oh, I'm a good listener, or I'm empathetic, or I love to create connection. Well, that's great, but we want to know the how. We want to provide the proof to the pudding. So with your skills and strengths, we want to think about what's the benefit. And would love for you in the chat box to share if you have 2 or 3 skills or strengths that you want to share. Feel free to throw it in the chat box. I'm going to keep going so we get through everything. But with our skills and strengths, we want to be mindful of what is the benefit to somebody else? What is the benefit of you being a good listener? What is the benefit of you being empathetic? What is the benefit of you being detail-oriented? Again, we are making it as easy as possible for people to help us and for people to know our impact. So thinking about what is it that we really, when somebody says, well, what do you want to do? Or who do you want to be? If we don't know, if we're not clear, it can be easy to be like, well, I don't know. I just want a job. I just want to make money. Well, that's, again, it's not really that helpful, right? Because if we say to somebody else, I just want to make money, well, there's a lot of ways that you can make money. But if you're a listener, how can your listener or your audience help you make money? So I want you to think about your professional history collectively. And I want you to think about all of the things that you have enjoyed about your past experiences, as well as all of the things that you have not enjoyed. What are all of your likes and your dislikes? The things that you've enjoyed can be things that you enjoy, that you get to dress up. You might enjoy that you have a great boss, that you work for a good team, that you're able to travel. The list of your dislikes might be a little bit easier. It might be a little bit longer, but maybe you didn't like the fact that you had a micromanager of a boss. Maybe you didn't like the fact that you were never able to get a word in edgewise because your teammate was such a chatty Cathy. Maybe you didn't like the fact that you had to dress up every day for work, or that you had to use a platform that you weren't familiar with. But make a list of all of your likes and dislikes. The third thing that you want to make a list of is what's really important to you. What are your human or your personal values? In a non-professional setting, again, what's important to you as a person? Do you value empathy? Do you value leadership? Do you value communication? and go ahead and make a list of all of your personal values. As you look across all three lists of your likes, your dislikes, and your personal values, you might start to notice a trend. You might start to notice that the things that you have enjoyed about your past experiences are in line with what is important to you as a human being. And on the flip side, what you have not enjoyed is in conflict of what's important to you. So what I want you to do is, looking across all of those three lists, I want you to pull out the three things that are most important to you. That when you think about your next adventure, again, whether that's on the personal or the professional side, what are the three things that you have to have? These are what I call your non-negotiables. My non-negotiables are communication, strategy, and creativity. I know I have to have those three things in my next role for me not to get the shiny object syndrome and start to look elsewhere. So when people say, well, Joy, what do you want to do? I might not know exactly what company I want to work for or what team I want to be a part of, but I will say I'm excited to leverage my creativity, my strategic skills, as well as my communication skills. And I want to work for a team and an organization who values those as well. When you are doing informational interviews, these are these are the conversation starters. So when you think about your life, from where you are to right now to where you want to be, you have to make a plan. Otherwise, it's going to be a year from now, and our lives are going to look fairly similar to what they are today. So you want to make sure that you are clear with your why. What's going to be your driver? Why do you want to do what you want to do? What's your vision, right? Make it real. Go back to your 5-year life plan and really craft and make it so that you know exactly, I know in 5 years, I want to live on a boat. I want to be traveling the world. I know I want to make X amount of money in my bank account. I know I want to have a 12-pack of abs and eat a cupcake every single day. And I want to own a mission-driven organization that empowers women to be their best self. What's your measurement, right? What do you want to happen by when? What are all of the resources and skills that you need, as well as that you have access to currently? And then make a plan going backwards, right? If you want to start out with 5 years, well, what's everything that you need to do over the next 5 years? But don't say like, over the next year, I want to explore a jungle. This is a really bad example, right? But break it down. Maybe break it down into weekly and monthly increments. If you are looking to make a professional transition, if you want a new job, I would encourage you to apply for 1 job a day at the minimum with tailored materials. So I know that we are coming up on time. I'm going to include, again, I will include the slides that go in through some of these tactical materials, but I want you to think about, what are your materials saying about you? We talked a lot about the big strategy and thinking about, okay, what is it that I actually want? So I can start to craft a plan to get me closer to where I want to be. And the last part of that was, what are you going to use to reward yourself? What's going to keep you accountable? I generally don't recommend utilizing food or alcohol as a reward, because for me, I like a good glass of wine. And if I really get motivated, I'm like, okay, if I do 5 jobs, for every job application I do, I'm going to have a glass of wine. Well, we probably all know that last application will not be the best representation of my skills. So think about, is it a manicure? Is it reading an extra chapter in a book? Is it binge watching an extra episode on Netflix? What's going to keep you accountable and motivated? And then think about transitioning it to your materials to show your impact. So again, I'm high level going to talk through, you want to think about what the hiring team is looking like. What are they, I'm sorry, not looking like, looking for. I work with organizations on a regular basis who are hiring and they're wanting to bring in new talent to their teams. And they say, you know, Joy, they have to have a baseline of skills, right? They don't have to be the best and the best, but they have to have that baseline of skills. So if you are somebody that you're like, I will be an astronaut, but right now you are a ballerina and you apply to be an astronaut, they're probably going to be like, help us understand how you go from that ballerina to an astronaut. They want to make an impactful hire. They want to know what you can do starting day one. And lastly, it's your attitude. I cannot tell you how many hiring managers and recruiters say, Joy, they could be the best at their craft, but if they have a lousy attitude, I don't really want to work with them. It is not your boss's or your teammates' job to tell you how to be a nice person or a decent person or show up to work on time or whatever it is. That is your job. That is whoever raised you. That was their job. So you have to be able to think about, how do you show up that says, hey, I'm going to make an impact. This is why you want to work with me. Right? So when we think about, especially being women, how much do we apologize? How much do we say, oh, I am so sorry. Let me just, squeeze in my little point and hope that you hear my voice. We cannot apologize for the experience that we don't have, but rather than focus in on what we don't have, switch it over. You might not be the best at X, but what are you good at? Talk about, I'm a fast learner. In my past experiences, let me tell you about a time that I went from, a level 2 to a level 10, and here's the steps that I took to make sure that I learned the process in and out. But we can't apologize for the experiences that we don't have, and we don't want to say we're sorry for the talents and experience that we do have. You are all phenomenal and talented, and you have nothing to be sorry for. So on the material side, I know we're kind of coming up on time. You'll have access to these slides, excuse me. But for your cover letter, these are the five paragraphs that you want to just make sure that you are communicating your talents and impacts. Again, I'm going to run through these slides. I'm going to share the secret 6 of how to include your resume, how to build your resume to stand out. How do you structure it so that you have the introduction? If you think about your resume as a conversation, at the top, it's your name, your email address, your phone number, and the city of which you live. You don't need to have your full address. Then you have what I call your brand statement, and then your skills, your experience, your education, and what I call your side hustle, or anything that you think is relevant to your future employer knowing. When you think about the bullets, show your impact. Don't just write a laundry list of your tasks, but bring data to the conversation. Even don't judge the numbers. Even if it's you managed a team of 1, that's great, or managed a team of 2, but show your impact. There's some resources on if you want to craft a design. I would focus in on the content first. And then there's a platform called JobScan. And this will allow you to see how your resume shows up in an applicant tracking system, and shows you what keywords are on the job description and your resume to see if it's apples to apples. Right? If you're wanting to be an astronaut and your resume is all geared towards dance, JobScan is going to help you say, oh, well, you don't really ever mention that you're an astronaut or the skills that pertain to being an astronaut. So that's my guiding post to say, well, let me make sure that I have a little bit more of those skill sets that they're needing. And then LinkedIn is a huge tool that can be helpful for you. And I would just encourage you to tell people why you are connecting with them. When you randomly reach out to people, find something about them that stands out to you. Joy, I noticed, and you can practice with me. You're all welcome to reach out to me on LinkedIn, but tell me what's one takeaway from tonight? What are you most excited to focus in on for the next month or so? How can I best support you? Find something about them and tell them why you're connecting. So this is your time to shine. I will encourage you to have a plan. Finding a job or making a change is a full-time job, whether that's personally or professionally. So I'd encourage you to think about what's the one thing that you're going to do every single day to get one step closer to that 5-year life. Make sure that you are aware of your surroundings. There's so much research that goes to show that you are the 5 people that you hang out with the most, and then keep track. So I know that we're coming up on an end. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be with all of you tonight. You are welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. You can send me an email. I welcome, we can have a follow-up strategy call, whatever that looks like for you. But just hats off to each of you for all of the time and energy that you have dedicated to investing in yourself. All right, Gloria, it's all you.
Thank you so much, Joy. Let's give Joy a hand. Awesome. This was awesome. Great information, great reminder. Yes, loved it, loved all the steps. Thank you so much. All right. So, Amra, if we can have the All right. Okay, so ladies, for all of you who love to model, this is your chance. We are coming up on our fall fashion show event called Unstoppable, and it will be happening the evening of September 17th, 2021, so this year. If you are interested in modeling for the event, please contact Amra, and her email is denver@dressforsuccess.org, and let her know you want to be a model. All right. Just a reminder that we have a YouTube channel and that you will be able to find this presentation along with all of our past PWG meetings and workshops on YouTube. Also, we have the Dress for Success worldwide community, and this is great. Last month, I was able to get a free one-year membership to the Core Power Yoga online. That Core Power had a promotion that was offering all of the ladies who are part of this community. So, great things are coming. So please join and be a part of the worldwide community. We have the group meditation with Kelly Arnold and yoga. That will be August 5th from 4:30 to 5:30, and the invitation will be going out tomorrow. And your special gift for attending today is your $20 gift certificate to our sale, which is this weekend. And so your day to redeem your $20 gift certificate will be on Saturday. Please feel free to come on Friday, but on Friday you can't use the gift certificate. It's only for Saturday. If you attended the 3-part series with Nancy Anderson, you can choose your items from the sale on Saturday. So that's awesome. And now some little bonus there for you ladies. And so our sale will be happening on July 30th from 5 p.m. to 9. So that's this Friday. And then on Saturday, July 31st from 10 a.m. to 2. Everyone is welcome to come shopping. Also, if you have a small business and would like to grow it, please take advantage of this opportunity to attend one free Business Network International meeting. It's a great meeting that can generate a lot of business even from one meeting. The meeting happens on Tuesday mornings from 7:15 to 9. If you would like to be a part of that, please contact Amra, denver@dressforsuccess.org. All right, and so this concludes our meeting. And I know we are 3 minutes overdue, so ladies, thank you so